Welcome to the Living Artist Podcast. I'm your host, Preston M. Smith. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Living Artist Podcast. I'm Preston M. Smith, at PMS Artwork everywhere on internet land and socials. I want to thank you for landing on this podcast. Whether you're a professional artist, just getting started in the art world, a collector of art, or just consider yourself a creative person, this podcast has something for you. I like to think of it as a fun way to rant and talk to other creative people about living the life of an artist, surviving and getting ahead in the art world, and enjoying your life. But most importantly, not waiting until you're dead to make it happen. All right, let's get started. Here, say something.
Hi, I'm Tony Lugo.
And I'm Tony Lugo Ponce. No, I'm just kidding. I knew you before you were Tony Lugo, back in the Tony Lugo Ponce days. Okay, say something again.
Hi, hey, what's going on? Welcome to Preston M. Smith's podcast. I'm PMS artist.
This is, I can't tell if I'm hearing you or if I'm hearing you in the room.
I'm going to get closer to the mic and talk a little lower to see if you can tell.
Oh, yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
I turn us up a little bit here, just for fun. Okay, so we're set up. We're filming. We're doing crazy millennial stuff.
You got to hit record, bro.
Oh, fuck me.
There you go.
There we go. We just missed all that gold.
I got it on mine.
Okay. It's going to be like, I'm just going to appear randomly at some point. So, how are you, man?
I'm doing well, dude. How are you?
I was joking about knowing you before, back when you were Tony Lugo Ponce.
Yeah.
Pretty soon you're going to be just Tony.
Like Madonna.
Yeah, exactly. And then a symbol. And then you'll be back. You'll be back to Tony.
I'll be, depending on how this goes, I might be the artist formerly known as Tony or the mailman formerly known as Tony.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, we need mailmen. Oh, here, 1 second. This episode is brought to you by LaCroix. Cheers, man. Hey, it's good to have somebody here in person.
Yeah. Fully vaccinated.
Double vaxxed and ready to attack.
I've been fully vaxxed since January, man. I've been waiting.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, I've been waiting forever for everyone else to
You're just
catch
like,
up.
I'm ready to go.
Sitting at home like nothing's happening.
That's funny, man. My wife too. She how did you get yours so early?
So I went to the VA. I'm a veteran.
That's right.
Went to the VA. They were doing the Pfizer, but they were only doing, the elderly.
Yes.
But I knew Pfizer was throwing away, or people were throwing away Pfizer shots at the end of the day. So I went at like 4:00 one evening.
That's what I heard.
And then they had a couple of spots left, and they were able to squeeze me in without having to throw away a vaccine shot.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So I mean, you saved it and you got vaccinated early. Yeah. My wife was vaccinated in January also.
Yeah.
I think it's funny because they're like essential workers.
Yeah.
But then you go home and you're with your family. Yeah. You're with a husband or your wife or whatever. And then it's like you can still get it and pass it to a patient. So it feels like they should just vaccinate all the families.
Right.
But, hey, what do I know? I don't know anything. Welcome back to Double Vax with Tony and Preston. So I did write down some questions here.
Okay.
Oops, you're not Rachel.
No, I'm Tony.
Are you Rachel? You could be Rachel.
Hey, whatever.
So, well, that's funny because first of all, we were talking about the pandemic. I'm happy to not talk about the pandemic anymore, but I wanted to ask you, how was your pandemic? Did it knock you on your ass? Were you able to work? How was your family? Everything?
I was able to work. I worked from home, which was, in hindsight, or even in current sight, it was a wonderful blessing in the darkness,
For sure, man.
Yeah. The worst thing that happened to me, and none of my close family members got it. The worst thing that happened to me was my film premiered at the Pasadena Film Festival.
Right.
On March 15th.
Midnight, right?
Yeah.
Cool.
On March 15th. And like a couple of days before, they were saying, maybe we should keep it to 250 people in a room, no more than that. And then as it got closer to that Sunday, it was like, okay, 100 people, then 50 people, 10 people. Don't hang out with anyone that's not in your family at your house.
Yes.
You know? So that's about the worst thing that happened to me.
That's bad timing. But so wait, when was the film festival?
It was March. My film premiere on Sunday, March 15th.
Oh, shit.
2020. Yeah.
That's like, I was telling you about Mags and my trip to Argentina. It was like, we're going to go for her birthday. It was scheduled for the 27th.
Yeah.
Even up to that last week, we knew we weren't going to be able to go, but the airlines still were just like, nah, you're good. And then that week they just pulled it. Yeah. And we were super grateful too, because I worked the whole time. It was like nothing changed. Mm-hmm. I mean, I was still at home working from home in the studio, and actually sales kind of like dipped for a bit, and then people were at home. So they're like, might as well beautify our place, right?
Shopping around.
Yeah, exactly. So the sales were actually okay. And then my wife was an essential worker, so she was working. It was funny because the only thing, FOMO, like watching on social media, we kind of had a little bit of FOMO for people who were like quarantined at home together. Mm-hmm. Like, I mean, it sounds horrible because, a lot of people lost their jobs. So I want to be mindful of that, obviously. But there were a lot of couples that were like, we're together now all the time. And Mags and I were like, we don't see each other at all. But you got a girlfriend recently.
I did, yeah.
Nice. I don't know if you want to talk personal stuff. We can talk generally,
She's a wonderful human being. She's the best person I've ever met.
Aside from me, of course.
Well, aside from you. Everything we do in this podcast is going to be, the asterisk is aside from Preston.
Yes, exactly. Thank you. That's what instead of payment, you just got to reference me from time to time. I just realized, is it hot or are you good?
It's a little warm, but I want the AC to interfere with the audio.
That's why. I should have cooled it down beforehand, but I'm not that professional.
That's all right.
So you said you saw Steve Moulter.
Saw Steve Moulter, yeah.
Well, first of all, a little background. Tony and I met through Steve Moulter. You were doing a documentary short on Steve. Mm-hmm. And then Steve wanted to do an interview with me, and you came along and filmed that.
Yeah.
And was that for Steve's segment?
It was for Steve's. So Steve Moulter it was a musician that ran, or I don't know if he still runs, the 5 Questions website.
I think he does
He asked people randomly 5 questions. And what happened is I met Steve at a coffee shop, and he did a 5 question segment on me. In turn, I was interested enough to be like, hey, can I do like a little profile documentary on you? 2-minute thing. And he said, sure. And that's what the one I covered was when he did his 5 questions with you.
Yes. And then you were like, oh, hey, do you want to do a profile on me? And I was like, hell yeah, let's do it. So we did a Tony filmed documentary short called Negativity to Creativity. He came and like filmed a whole studio session, like painting like from the beginning to completion of a painting. And we did a little interview. Yeah, it was great, man. I still love that. I have that up on my YouTube channel.
It's fascinating, the process of particularly your artwork, because you have such a unique style. So just going through the process of seeing what happens and how it all comes from a white canvas to like something that you sell to people.
Right. You put on the wall.
Yeah.
It was weird for me because I was like, I mean, I'd done some stuff on YouTube before. I'd filmed part of a process, but I'd never done like from the beginning to the end. And I wanted to be mindful of your time. So I was like, am I going to be able to create something good? Because, it's weird. You're like, you need to deliver on these things. If you're going to do like a documentary, you don't want it to be like one of your worst pieces. Right. So it was kind of funny, but it was cool. It was like you were so just kind of in the background doing your thing that I just felt like I was painting. Right. It was great. So you've got a new film out, relatively new film out, Midnight. Mm-hmm. Do you want to talk about it at all?
Sure, yeah.
So, and by the way, first of all, congratulations. You've been on like festival circuit. You've been winning awards.
We recently won Best Drama Film at the Austin After Dark Film Festival.
Nice.
We've won several acting awards, and we've been finalists, and we've won jury prizes at other festivals. But this is the first like Best Film award, and what's great is
some people never get that.
Yeah,
seriously.
What's great is that I was born and raised in Austin, Texas, and
I didn't know that.
Yeah, for us to win the Best Drama Film at an Austin Film Festival was just icing on the cake. I went to the festival. They had a drive-in screening because there's still there's still social distancing parameters in place.
Yeah. When was this?
This was May 18th.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, so still relatively early on.
Mm-hmm.
I bet that was fun to come home and do that.
It was great. It was wonderful. I mean, my parents, my sisters, my niece, they were all, my girlfriend, they were all at the screening.
Were you able to like hang out with them in the car, or was it separate?
Yeah. No, we all went in one car. And my dad has a truck, so we loaded a bunch of seats in the truck and some blankets. And we just popped the bed open and...
Like an old school driving.
Yeah, it was fun.
Are you old enough to remember driving?
I'm old enough to remember that they were around. But
I'm aware of them.
I never went to one personally. I remember, driving on the street and seeing a big screen with something flashing on it.
Yeah. See, my parents were in the movie business. I don't know if you know this. Yeah, they were in the movie business on the other end. And I remember back in the day doing that old school, you roll your window down, put the speaker on the door, all the bugs. But yeah, it's kind of cool to see some stuff come back around. Mm-hmm. Like, I know that was not really like a conventional drive-in, but it's a different iteration of it. But anyway, so Austin, you won
Best Drama Film.
Best Drama Film.
Yeah.
How long is Midnight?
14 minutes and 33 seconds.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's a good length.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Was there any sort of parameters as far as how short it needed to be in this?
No, so I guess to be considered a short film, it has to be 40 minutes or less.
Oh, really? 40 minutes? Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
No one, it's kind of an unwritten rule that no one makes a 40-minute short film.
Yeah. That's a hogging time. Do you want to tell us about what the premise is for the film?
Sure. Yeah. So Midnight is about a woman whose brother died of an overdose, and she wants to take revenge on the drug dealer that sold her brother the stuff.
The stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
What, we got to get deep. What kind of stuff was it?
Well, the name of the drug, it was a made up drug called Midnight.
Oh, that's I didn't know that. Yeah. Oh, that's cool. All right. I've seen the clips from it. I've seen the diner clip and stuff like that, but I haven't seen the whole thing. Can you watch the whole thing? Or
I can send you a link. It's still password protected because we're like at the tail end of our festival run. So.
At some point, it's going to be released
once the festival
consumption.
Run is done, I'm just going to throw it up.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you don't have to give me special treatment, but I'd love to see it when it's out.
Sure.
No, I love the idea behind it. Was this something you co-wrote this?
I co-wrote this, yeah.
With Jaime?
Jaime Saginor, yeah.
Mm. Well, first
of all,
also
played the lead.
Yes.
Who played the sister, yeah.
It's interesting because I was in my limited research, I saw her, and I guess she's like a health coach.
Yeah, she's a health coach, yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah. How did you meet her?
We met at a party. It was a friend invited me to a party, and she was there and struck up conversation and started working together.
So she's an actress?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, she's an actress.
Okay. She's just like, I'm a health coach, but I really want to get into the film industry.
Well, she was, as far as I don't want to speak on her because I don't know the story too well. I think she was waitressing or bartending or something and then wanted to just start her own business so that she could have the freedom to pursue
That's awesome.
the acting, yeah.
I've thought about health coaching. I know you and I have talked about health stuff in the past.
Yeah.
Did you guys connect on that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I know you, when we first started hanging out a little bit, we were talking about jogging and dietary stuff. And I know you lost a bunch of weight. And are you doing anything special right now? Or?
I am. I'm working out 6 days a week.
Oh, wow.
I'll do 3 or 4 days weight training. I'll do 4 days weight training and 2 days jogging. But in the weight training, I have cardio in there as well.
What kind of weight training are we talking about?
Curls, squats, bench, leg presses, calf raises, tricep curls. Yeah, I'm just
everything. Nice.
Just getting the gains.
And when you jog, what are you trying to do? Like, what's your? Do you have like a goal as far as I run 2 miles, I run 5 miles? I
just try to do a 5K every time I run.
5K. Okay. Yeah, cool. Yeah, that's good.
I've ran before the pandemic. I ran several 5Ks.
Yeah.
Everything. I just, since that's in my mind, that's how long I run.
Yeah.
So I just keep it at that. I have no desire. I've ran a couple 10Ks, but I have no desire to run a marathon at all. I want to keep it at 5K. Yeah.
I'm 5Ks all about the short form.
Yeah, they still give you medals for 5Ks. So.
Yeah. Well, and also it's a different type of running. Like for me, I know that I want to be really sweating. I want to be pushing myself, and I run really hard, but I couldn't sustain that for a 10K. No way. I would pass out or something.
Right.
I would rather get, 2-3 miles. I don't know. 5K is what? 3 point something?
3.1.
3.1 miles. Yeah. So that's perfect.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever gone over that either myself. Do you try to keep up like a pretty good pace or?
Oh no,
You're like, I walk it.
I just trot it. No, I just enough to, if I'm sweating down to my stomach.
Yeah.
You know, when I'm done, I'm fine.
I love how everybody has like their own little marker. You know, some people just like, they'll time themselves. They'll do the heart rate. Some people like, if I turn red, I'm getting a good workout. If I sweat to this point,
Well, I know that even if I just walked the 5K, that it would be a good workout. So I'm fine. I'm not training to be an athlete.
Yeah. It's just good to stay in shape.
Yeah.
Do you find that kind of helps you with your artistic process at all?
I mean, it keeps my head clear and it keeps me energized.
For me too. That's kind of the reason why I started doing it full time. It was like if I didn't keep doing it, I would start to fall into like a little bit of a funk.
Right.
This kept me clear. This kept me focused.
Right.
Kept me energized too. I think all that stuff is related.
It's great because it gives me some structure.
Mm-hmm.
And if I don't work out in the morning, I know I'm going to have to do it by 3:00. Otherwise, it's going to get too late, or the gyms are going to get too packed.
Yeah.
Or it's going to get too dark for me to run, and I'll just use that as an excuse. So I know if I don't do it first thing in the morning, I have to do it by 3:00.
Yeah.
And so it gives me some structure on either end of the day.
It's so easy to come up with excuses and kind of like sabotage yourself,
Like you get in your car and you're like, oh man, I have half a tank of gas. I might as well just go to the gym tomorrow.
Yeah, I'll just go tomorrow. And then tomorrow is another excuse. Yeah, I started doing first thing in the morning. Mm-hmm. I used to run just whenever I could, but I figured like if I can start my day out with a run, it's like one of the hardest things you're going to do the whole day. The rest of the day is easy.
Absolutely, yeah.
But I don't know if I told you, but I fucking tweaked my back.
Oof.
About 3 months ago, I couldn't get off the floor. Like I couldn't do anything. I still am not running. I'm walking every day now. I walk twice a day. Probably walk like 4 miles, but at a good pace. But like I'm kind of getting ready to get back into jogging a little bit, test it out. But yeah, man, it was bad. Like I couldn't figure it out. It happened on inauguration day, actually.
Oh wow,
that's so weird. I was like, I was watching it from the floor. And then like after about 3 weeks, I was able to kind of get up and hobble around, but I couldn't get into a car. I couldn't work. I couldn't paint. I couldn't leave my house. I couldn't go down the stairs. It was just a long process, but I'm glad to hear you're still doing all that. Yeah. I have some questions.
Sure.
Oh, but what about Steve? So you said you saw Steve.
Yeah, I saw him last night.
Last night?
Yeah, I saw him last night. We met. I met his wife last night. We met up at this place in Culver City. This bar in Culver City.
What place?
Public School was the name of it.
Oh yeah, I've been to public school.
Yeah.
Back in my drinking days. That's cool, man. Yeah. How'd you like his wife?
She's very nice.
Tell us the truth.
She's very sweet, and
she's nice. I'm just kidding.
No, she's great.
Yeah,
she's a wonderful person.
She seems like she's awesome. Yeah. I mean, if she's with Steve, she's probably wonderful.
Steve is a really sweet guy. So it's,
I actually was hanging out with him when he first was talking about her.
Really?
Like it was like a goal to be with her, and then I saw they were like she was moving down here, and then they were getting married. So
wow,
good for you, Steve.
Congrats, Steve.
Steve, if you're listening, come on the podcast too. So, we talked about the film a little bit, but I wanted to talk about, I always ask everybody about their origin story.
Yeah.
Because I want to just, get a feel for how you got into this. Mm-hmm. You can start as early as you want, take as long as you want. And I want to talk to you about the Marine Corps a little bit too.
Sure.
But you can put all that in there. I might stop you and ask questions along the way.
Of course.
Anything that you think is, worth knowing.
Yeah. Origin story is I grew up in Austin, Texas. I was born and raised there. Went to the military at 18. Enlisted when I was 17, but didn't ship off till I was 18.
Oh, first of all, sorry. I already got a question. Yeah. Austin, how much has it changed?
Oh, my God. I'm probably the wrong guy to talk to about this.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't have exactly very positive thoughts about my hometown right now. But,
oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, then we'll stay.
It's nice. It's fine. It's fine.
Well, what about from like a film standpoint?
As far as
having an art scene, having film
Austin's
festivals.
Always had that.
It's always had that?
Yeah, it's always had that. Yeah.
Wasn't it Linklater who first kind of brought
Linklater started there, yeah.
Yeah.
And then Robert Rodriguez shortly after.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I know Robert Rodriguez is from San Antonio. Then he went to UT and then came out here for a little bit, met Tarantino, and the rest is history.
Yeah.
Yeah, with me, I think Austin was the perfect place to grow up, considering my career choice. It was very artistic, very free, very different. There was always events happening. I can remember going to kite festivals, art festivals.
Yeah, I was at the music scene too, right?
Yeah, it's a huge music scene.
Yeah. Austin City Lights and all that. That's been
City
around for
Limits,
a long time.
yeah.
City Limits, sorry, yeah.
Yeah. It's been around forever. That's been around for a very long time.
So I'm sorry, I'm curious. Are part of your feelings, or is it related to like the whole tech boom?
Sure.
There?
Yeah.
I figured. So I'm sure it's just being like completely gentrified.
Oh, it's way beyond. We're past that point. Yeah.
Yeah. Like I know like Tim Ferriss and all those guys are over there and they're talking about how it's becoming like a little Silicon Valley.
It is. It's going to be, price-wise, will probably be a San Francisco.
Really?
Pretty soon, yeah.
Holy shit.
Which is hopefully means the prices in San Francisco go down because I love I love the Bay Area.
San Francisco's awesome.
Yeah.
It's just so pricey. When my wife and I were there, we were doing a little tour and they were talking about, I think they were like stockbrokers. There was like 7 of them sharing an apartment. It was like 900 square feet, $12,000 a month or something.
Yeah, with tech, a lot of tech leaving the Bay Area, maybe, I get a little place up there.
Hell yeah. Sorry, but anyway, you were, so Austin growing up, I think you were just getting into the Marine Corps.
Yeah. Oh, so after high school, I was always interested in like theater arts in school, but I never ever had the grades for them to consider me to be a part of the theater arts club or anything like that.
Yeah. You never did like a play or anything?
I didn't do plays until I came back from the Marine. I got out of the Marine Corps, came back to Austin and went to ACC, Austin Community College. I studied theater there. I studied Shakespeare there. And I did some plays.
Nice.
Yeah. Did some plays, did some acting, did some extra work.
Cool.
It was when I was an extra in 2003, this film came out, The Alamo.
Yeah.
I was an extra in The Alamo. I was a Mexican soldier. And
really?
I had hair then. They shaved my chop. They gave me some chops and a thick mustache and dressed me up in 1860s Mexican soldier garb.
Hell yeah.
They bussed us to the set. And I remember this was a specific memory for me. I stepped off the set and I saw like this little farm, like little bitty crops. And it was, it could fit on this lot.
Yeah.
But I knew it was part of the set. And I was at the very edge of set, maybe football field and a half, 2 football fields down was the Alamo. And the detail that went into this farm just fascinated me so much. And I knew this farm's probably never going to make it on camera, but the detail that went into it, they just cared so much about the look and the feel of the film that was the moment I told myself that I had to get behind the camera, not in front of the camera.
Hell yeah. It's one of those things that people really most people take for granted. Yeah. Like you see it. I mean, you know it. I think the average film goer would understand like subconsciously, like, when you're in good hands and there's a good atmosphere to a movie. There's been a lot of care taken, costume design, set design, all that stuff, lighting design, but maybe you wouldn't be able to put your finger on it, but you'll notice when it's not there.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
But it sucks when it's not, when it's kind of underutilized. It's just all that work and then you'll see it for like 30 seconds.
Right.
So you were doing extra. Can you see yourself in the film?
I never saw that. I've never seen the film.
You never checked
but I doubt you can, because I remember them telling us there were hundreds of us all around the Alamo. And then the AD goes, "Don't worry, we'll digitize y'all. So right now it looks like hundreds of y'all, but when they put the film out, it's going to look like thousands of y'all. So you probably can't even see me.
Or you see 10 of you.
Or 10 of me.
Yeah.
That's
I'm surprised you never watched it. Even when I did extra work back in the day, I was always like, checking for myself. Well, because I wanted to be an actor, vanity purposes. But go ahead.
Every film I was an extra in, except one, I never watched. Yeah.
Did you ever have the acting bug at all, or was it just to kind of get some experience in film?
It was probably just to not have a real job, which was ironic because I ended up having several real jobs after that.
Yeah. Well, when you go into that field, typically you don't just like start making money right away. But it was pay well, extra work in Austin? I mean, like
$200 a day, something like that.
150?
Yeah, 150,
Holy shit.
$100, yeah.
Were you union?
No.
Wow. That's like better than here.
Yeah.
I remember when my ex and I moved down here from college to do, painting and acting.
Mm-hmm.
And we came down here, we just started doing extra work like all over town, like 4 in the morning. And we were non-union. And I think we got paid like through, what's it called? Central Casting.
Mm-hmm.
I think we got paid like 50 some bucks a day. And then you get overtime, obviously, if you went over. But like that was SAG rates, what you're talking about.
I didn't know that.
That's crazy, man. That's good.
Yeah.
I mean, you could actually probably make a living doing that.
I'm sure people make a living doing that here, like doing union work.
They do. Union, not non-union. But it sounds like you could almost do it with non-union there.
Right.
That's crazy. Sorry. So,
well, there aren't that many films being shot in Austin. That's
true.
Especially now. It just seems like this was 2003, and there was a push to make Austin the second Hollywood.
Yeah.
So California's been knocking on Austin's door for a while now.
Well, and also because it's so hard to make movies here. It's so expensive.
Right.
I don't know how expensive it is to make movies in Austin. Probably more now.
There were good tax rates then, but then I don't think personally, I don't think the government cared about having movies filmed there because New Mexico came along, had better tax rates. New Orleans came along, and then Toronto and Georgia now. So there's other places.
Yeah, Georgia. I've been noticing that.
There was a film that took place in Austin. They shot a couple exteriors in Austin, and they shot the rest of it in like Michigan.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Well, I mean, they've been doing that kind of stuff. I remember being surprised at the beginning when I knew Seinfeld was filmed in LA. I was like, wait a minute, because it has such a New York feel to it, the magic of the movie and TV industry.
Yeah.
So you're doing extra work in Austin, and then what comes next, or is that it?
And then I moved to LA. Well, my brother dies. That's something that occurred. That was a very big shift.
I don't think I knew this.
No, this was in 2004. My brother passed away.
Okay.
And I'm not a very big spiritual person or a meaning person.
Yeah.
But I did get a letter. My brother lived in Laredo, which is about 4 hours from Austin.
Is this older brother?
Older brother, yeah. And after he passed, I got a letter in the mail a few months later from the Los Angeles Film School addressed to him.
Holy shit.
And so I went to the Los Angeles Film School based on that. Now,
wow.
Was that
so he
really
was trying to be a filmmaker too?
No, he was not. He was happy at his little post office gig in Laredo. Yeah, and he was going to retire there.
Wow,
live the rest of his life there.
So I'm sorry, but was this a mistake, or did he just on a whim apply? Or?
I don't know if it was a mistake or if it was great marketing from the LA Film School, and they're like, "Well, he's a filmmaker, and his brother just died. Put his brother's name on that and mail it to him."
Oh wow.
No, that's just
it worked.
It's a cynical brain.
Dude, I'm really sorry. I'm sorry. I didn't know that about your brother.
No, it's all right. It's been some time.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like something, not something good came out of it directly, but
right.
No,
yeah. I mean, I chose the film school I chose because of him.
Cool.
Because of that letter.
Wow.
And I came out in 2005 to Los Angeles. Stayed here for 2 years. And then went back to Austin, and I did that whole.
Did you go back because it was tough out here, or
I went back because it was tough out here.
Yeah. It's definitely for anybody listening who's never been to LA. Yeah. It's tough out here.
Yeah. and if you don't have it, I didn't have that go get it drive that you need on top of finding work and
yes,
and you just need that go get it drive just to find PA work.
Yeah.
And it takes the focus away from that go get it drive for directing, so it was tough. I took a hard lesson there.
Yeah. Well, I feel like this is a lesson for anybody listening who's trying to kind of break into whether it's the film industry or, the art world or, acting, whatever it is, music industry. It's almost like if you can outlast people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you have the drive and you have some talent and you can just keep working and keep plugging away, meeting people, it's almost like it's like a pyramid, The longer you go, the less people who are still around. I'm not saying that's for everybody, but if you're working at it, you can make a living. So you went back to Austin?
I went back to Austin, and this was another hard lesson. I went back to Austin. I'm like, within the year, I'll be back in LA.
Yeah.
5 years later, and I'm still in Austin, and I'm working as a mailman.
Oh,
yeah.
So you said that was your brother's job.
Yeah. Well, my brother worked at the state. He worked custodial at the post office station.
Okay.
In Laredo. I was just a letter carrier that covered routes. Like I covered the entire city of Austin. Whenever a carrier had a day off, that's the route I was on. And it was different stations. They would call me in the morning. You're working at this station today.
I'm intrigued because I'm always intrigued by I don't know. Do you call them mail persons now?
Carriers.
Letter carriers. Okay. Yeah. I'm always intrigued by letter carriers because, well, first of all, I was a huge Bukowski fan, and I know he started out in the post office. And
he actually retired from the post office.
He retired. Yeah. But he did it for, I think it was like 13 years or something. Yeah. Was it? I'm sure it was tough. Mm-hmm. Was it tough for you?
It gave me the definition of what really hard work was. But once you got the hang of it, it didn't seem like hard work. But that's like anything.
Yeah,
it was very physically demanding.
Long days too.
Long days, which helped me with being on set.
Yes. Did it motivate you to come back over here?
Oh my God! It was a very, very hard work environment. Not just physically, but mentally as well. And so I tried to save up as much as I could.
I always ask this question because it's partially selfish. Because this is what I did with waiting tables. Waiting tables is honestly one of the hardest jobs I think out there too. Yeah. It's shorter spurts, but it's physically demanding. Like I think that's probably why I fucked up my back. But it's also psychologically draining, dealing with the public and just all the shit you get for no reason. Yeah. I use that a lot as kind of fodder and motivation to keep going. Like I wouldn't let myself get a better job because I was like, no, I'm going to do this until I'm doing what I'm doing. Yeah. Did you have a similar experience with the post office?
Absolutely, yeah. But the post office was a great job. Everything I say about it is still a great job. I mean,
it's great benefits too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I did use it as motivation. I didn't want to be, like, for example, when I came back out to LA, I started working in music videos. Uh-huh. And I was very interested in camera department. And I knew if I got into the camera department, I would, within a couple of years, I'd be able to be a DP and have a successful run of DPing music videos for all these artists. And I purposely stayed away from that because I wanted to focus on writing and directing.
Yeah.
But I did work camera department, but I kept myself at bay. I didn't say, hey, I want to be more than just an AC or.
Mm-hmm. Was that to kind of just keep your head down, keep the work,
not reach a level of success that I could feel like I could relax.
Yeah, exactly.
And I also worked in art department, but I was a bad art department person. I sucked at art department. There's probably people who work art department that still know me and are like, this guy's winning awards. No, I will gladly admit to being a horrible art department.
Well, you can't be great at everything, right?
Yeah. Well, you are.
Wow. No, thank you. See, keep it coming. No, but you, were you doing like screenwriting on the side while you were doing the stuff? Yeah.
I was.
That's another thing about being down here in LA. You kind of got to have, like, as much as I hate this term, the side hustle. You got to like use your spare time. That's what I did. I would wait tables, come home, write, drink, paint, all that stuff.
Right. Well, the thing I love about Los Angeles and maybe places like San Francisco and New York as well is like all the best minds go there.
Oh yeah.
In whatever industry. You'll find the best lawyers out here. You'll find the best doctors out here. You'll find the best filmmakers out here. Even,
New York would probably argue with that, but it's definitely true. I mean, stand up, improv, you just name it. It's the best.
They all flock to those places. And
they do.
I feel like they're still out here, even though a place like Austin might pop up. It might be the hip place for the moment, or Georgia might be a hip place for the moment.
It doesn't have the infrastructure, I don't think, to kind of keep it going. I think it's one of those things, if you make it here, or if you can get here and work here for a while, it ups your game. Don't you think?
Absolutely. Yeah. Because you're learning from the best.
Yeah. And you're competing with the best.
You're competing with the best. And even people that aren't the best, they might not be talent-wise the best, but hustle-wise, they're probably a lot better than other people. So you got to have that.
For sure.
There's like a mixture of what you can soak in.
Yeah. My wife and I just watched, she'd never seen it, Bowfinger. Have you seen Bowfinger?
No, with wait, I think I have.
You gotta
with
watch
Steve Martin.
Steve Martin,
yeah. And Eddie Murphy.
Yeah, exactly. I hadn't watched it in so long, but it was a great reminder because I think the last time I'd watched it was even before I came down here to act.
That was the one where Eddie Murphy plays twins, right?
Yes. Yeah. You don't know it at the time, but yeah, he plays the action star and then the brother who's like working at a video store or something. But Steve Martin is like this wannabe. Well, he's a filmmaker, but he's just like a very B filmmaker. And he's just lies his way into every scenario. And I thought it was hilarious to watch it again because I was like, man, it captured something about LA. I mean, it's ridiculous too, but there's like a kernel of truth in all of it. Like you have to just be hustling here.
Yeah, Heather Graham's in that. No?
Heather Graham, yeah.
I remember
she's the one who's like the one from Ohio who kind of like sleeps her way to the top.
I remember when she gets off the bus, she's like, "Excuse me, where do you go to be an actress?"
Exactly. And then she's hanging out with like the male lead, or one of the male leads, and then she's like talking to him about her scenes, and he goes, "Oh, well, the writer does that," and she's like, "Oh, the writer does that?" And then all of a sudden she's with the writer, and then she goes up to the director. Yeah, it's funny. It's worth a watch if you've never seen it. Anybody listening, if you're trying to break into the film industry, it's definitely there's some truth to it for sure. But sorry, so you're here. Where are you living at this point?
In Santa Monica.
Santa Monica. Oh, okay. But whereabouts in Santa Monica?
I'm close to the beach.
Living the dream, baby.
I'm not even a 5-minute walk.
That's cool.
Yeah.
You know, I talk to a lot of artists on this about like areas of town. As an artist, you've got Silver Lake, or you've got downtown scene, or you got like Hermosa Beach now, where I have a gallery that represents me, has its own little scene. Is it similar with the film industry, or like filmmakers?
I don't know, because I don't really get out much. Every time I get out, it seems like there's something either in centralized or east side. There hardly seems to be things. I go to pre-pandemic. Most of my outings were to movie theaters.
Same.
Go to like double bills and stuff. I searched out stuff that was being presented in film. So I would go to those theaters.
Nice. Yeah. And then randomly show up at art galleries. I remember I had a show at La Luz de Jesus, and I didn't even know you were showing up. And at one moment, my wife and I are like looking at some work, and I just turned to the left. You're just smiling like right next to me. That was great. It's like the gallery version of photobombing. You gallery bombed that one. So so what year is this when you're back?
I came back in 2013.
2013. Okay.
Yeah.
I met you 2017. So what are you doing 2013 to 2017?
Some extra work and PA work. Lots of truck driving.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I was driving trucks for music videos and reality shows.
Did you see yourself doing music videos, or did you always know you were going to do like...
Oh, I always wanted to be in features in television.
Okay.
But along the way, I had to do music videos, and I had to do reality TV.
Yeah, you do what you can. And then you're still writing screenplays at the time. And when did you write Midnight? I know you co-wrote it, but
2017.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, 2018.
Were you writing it when we met?
No, I had the base idea. I had a base idea when we met. I just jotted down.
Did you have the idea before you met Jaime?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So it was originally your idea, and then you kind of co-wrote it with her.
Co-wrote it with her. She was looking to act. I was looking to make something, and she's a good writer as well. So I asked for her help.
Nice. Yeah. That's cool. So that kind of brings us up to speed a little bit. But you didn't talk about I want to talk to you about the Marine Corps a little bit. You know, we don't have to talk too much about it.
Whatever.
But you went to, what is it? Cuba, Greece, Ireland.
Yeah.
How long were you in the Marines, and how long were you stationed at these places?
4 years, and those were deployments. Those weren't. I was stationed in Camp Lejeune, North Carolina.
Okay.
And we deployed to those places. After 9/11, we had attacked Afghanistan. We had just bombed Afghanistan, And they came into the office saying, we need volunteers to do something that's involved with Afghanistan. We don't know if it's shipping you to Afghanistan or if it's just something around here. And I raised my hand, and it was, they shipped us to Cuba.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
I mean, that's good.
Yeah.
I'm glad you didn't go to Afghanistan.
In hindsight, me too. But back then I was disappointed.
Oh, you were ready to go?
I was ready to go, yeah.
Ready for some action.
I was. But I was an admin clerk, so it wasn't like, why would they send me?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, why would they send me there? I just wanted to be, I wanted
to the action, I guess. Yeah. How did you get to Greece and Ireland?
Those were exercises with NATO exercises.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Okay. Did you have like a favorite place that you were?
Greece was beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah. We were up in Thessaloniki. I didn't get to see any. I didn't get to Athens or anything like that.
Yeah.
But Thessaloniki was gorgeous. The waters were so clear. The people were beautiful. It was a wonderful place.
Yeah. Where'd you go in Ireland?
That was an airport stop on the way to.
Oh, okay.
On the
you
way
didn't get
to
a chance to see much of Ireland. Yeah.
It was Dublin. We were there for a few hours, but it still culturally impacted me because
Ireland
is a unique place.
Yeah. Did I tell you we went there on our honeymoon?
You went to Ireland?
Yeah.
Nice.
We did a little self-drive thing.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't know anything about it. I mean, I have a lot of ancestors from there, but she's from Italy, so we're going to go Italy next. But we went to Dublin, and then we like rented a car and we just drove across the country. We didn't go up to Northern Ireland, but we went the south over to Galway and then drove across. You can drive that whole island in like a day. It's insane. Yeah. But we saw so much culture there. Beautiful. Like it didn't rain once when we were there, which was weird.
Yeah.
Checked out the pubs, checked out all the castles, went to, kissed the Blarney Stone, all the normal stuff, But it was cool. It was great.
Most I did was order Guinness at an Irish bar. ask an Irishman where an ATM is.
Yeah.
And he told me, and it was an old Irishman. I could not understand a single word he said.
You're for the ATM. You go to the power station. Yeah. Yeah, it's funny. That was one thing too. I remember being in the south. Was it Kilkenny? I think we were in Kilkenny. We were going to Cork, and one of the bed and breakfasts we were at, it was funny because he was making fun of other Irish accents. Yeah. He's like, oh, you got to be careful when you go to Cork. They talk through their teeth like this. And it was just funny to hear another Irishman make fun of another Irishman. So I guess they have that everywhere. Oh, hey, ordering a Guinness in Ireland is half the battle.
Yeah, it was probably more than one Guinness, but
yeah, I hope so. Yeah, it was funny. I wasn't even really drinking at the time, but I was like, I'm in Ireland. We gotta go to the pub. Their pub scene there is so different from the United States. I feel like we just drink here to just get hammered, Right. And it's just part of their culture. It's like everybody goes out. Pubs close at 10.
Oh, wow.
And then everybody's home. They get some sleep, get up and go to work. They'll go have like 3 pints. I mean, there's definitely some people who drink a lot there too. But it just felt kind of like a social thing. Mm-hmm. And I know we do that here a bit too, but I just feel like there's an element of I'm going to get frickin' hammered. So, I mean, I did that. So you drink still or no?
Oh, yeah, occasionally.
Yeah, occasionally.
I've cut back a lot. And I'll go through spurts months long where I'm not having a single drink.
Yeah. I think we talked about that in 2017 because I stopped drinking in, when was it? 2015-ish, 2016. Yeah. Never looked back. So you've been, twice selected as a Latino scholar. Yeah. What is that? The NALIP?
National Association of Latino Independent Producers.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah. And then, a fellow for the nonprofit Veterans in Media and Entertainment.
Yeah,
right. That's cool, man. So how did you get selected and how's that?
It's a whole application process.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things where you just apply and you hope you get it. And I got to attend their media summit and it was great. It was right there in Hollywood and at the mall there in Hollywood and Highland.
Nice.
The top floor up there,
Yeah.
And there were a whole bunch of Q&As and you get to mingle with other producers and
that's cool.
Yeah, people that have made it to a level you're trying to achieve. Yeah.
Some people who pull some weight in the industry. Have you felt like it's opened any doors for you?
Yeah, it has.
Nice.
Yeah.
I'm interested in the screenplay thing. When I first came down here, I wrote a screenplay.
Yeah.
I remember I was working at Trader Joe's and I would like run home every night and like get a big thing of Orange Boom and just like pound out a screenplay. I remember loving writing it. How often do you write?
All the time.
All the time?
I'm still writing all the time. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
And are these ideas, like what's your process? Like, are you developing ideas? Are you doing like, I had a friend who did just like character development, or are you just writing screenplays?
It started off as like, I got to write the character down, who their parents were, where they went to high school and all that stuff. But then I kind of left that part of the process behind and said, I'll let the actors figure this out. Mm-hmm. So I just come up with an idea and a plot and how to get to point A to point B to point C. Mm-hmm. And then I'll spend my time writing on that. Yeah.
It's interesting to let an actor do their own work too and kind of contribute to the process in that way. Did you learn that like the hard way? Like, were you doing something and you're like, oh, this is a waste of time?
Yeah, I felt like I was wasting time.
Yeah.
And, but I still do things like I give the character traits, or I give it, like, there's some things I'll write down for the character. Mm-hmm. Like, well, this character was fired from 6 jobs or something. I don't know. Yeah. I still do things in the past that helps me figure out how they would react to certain situations in the story.
I know a lot of people. I've written some novels, and like, I know I write from experience. Do you write from experience as well? Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
So what do you do as far as getting more experience, cultivating experience? Do you have any techniques you do, or is it just something that you just pull from your life, whatever's going on?
I just pull from my life, and I did a lot in my life too. I've done a lot, like the military, all the odd jobs I had coming up. Was that Werner Herzog says, if you want to be a filmmaker, go be a bouncer at a strip club in South America or something like that.
Hell yeah. Yeah, it's right. It's right. It's like Bukowski too. I mean, why is this stuff so fascinating? Because he was always, I mean, it's not like he was traveling to Europe and he didn't have a lot of money. He wasn't like a Hemingway type character, but he did the odd jobs. You know, he had the crazy women experiences living in hotels, you know.
Bukowski, when he was broke, he was drinking in downtown LA bars, and when he had money, he would be drinking at like the Beverly Hills Hotel.
Yeah, exactly.
that was what he did.
Going to Musso and Frank's, you know. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, just getting life experience. I think that's the same for artists too. I mean, anybody. Like, the deeper your experience is, like the deeper the well you have to draw from. So I'm always like encouraging people to do that. I don't know how you feel about nowadays, but I feel like there's a lot of social media influence where it kind of, people get really excited to do something, or they get excited to show their work, which is great, but before they almost have the experience to show it.
Right.
Do you feel like that's something that's kind of lacking right now?
I think the market is flooded with content.
Yeah.
And they're always looking for content. I just think the content has changed. Mm-hmm. You know, am I wasting my time still writing feature films, or should I focus on other things? You know,
right.
That's what I think about. Yeah.
So what do you think about that?
I think it would behoove me to write a couple pilots, but I just love the movie theater experience so much that it's what I loved it when I was a kid.
But you can get that with streaming too, right?
I mean, it's not the theater. I
guess I meant, I completely agree with you. I grew up in the movie theaters. Like, I wouldn't trade it for anything. I meant as far as just from a content standpoint of like doing a long form, you can do a film and still have it be seen. It's not the same as experiencing in a movie theater with a bunch of people, but it's like not going away.
Right.
That's what I meant.
Yeah. Right.
But yeah, I completely agree with that. But you think there's like a little bit more short form?
Oh yeah, there's short form
like
television,
easier digested
network TV shows. That it's funny. You won't watch a 2-hour movie, but you'll sit for 6 hours.
You'll binge watch a whole series. Yeah. What is that?
I don't know.
I mean, I do it too.
I did it. It's a phenomenon. I did it when I was introduced to Breaking Bad.
Oh my God, man. Breaking Bad.
Yeah. And
Jesse.
Yeah.
I love Breaking Bad. Have you watched that again?
I have. I watch it all the time.
It's so good, man. There's only a few series that I'll do that with.
Yeah.
Dexter, I watched again.
I just haven't seen Dexter.
You haven't seen Dexter?
No.
They got a new season.
I saw the trailer for it. Yeah.
I haven't seen the trailer. I'm trying to like keep away from it, but I'm excited about it. But Breaking Bad is so much fun because you can kind of watch it the second time without as much anxiety.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then just kind of appreciate.
But also, like, I remember I went and bought season 1 at Best Buy at one of their. It was the Black Friday set the weekend sale, and I went and bought season 1. By the end of the weekend, I had season 2 and 3 on Blu-ray, and then I had to wait for season 4 and season 5, and then they took that break in the middle of the last season. You know,
well, that's one thing that's changed is people don't wait as much anymore.
No.
Like now they'll release a whole season on Netflix, which I think is cool. But also, instead of watching something as it's airing, people will wait for it to come out, like so they can just watch the whole thing.
I think that was part of what was great about Breaking Bad is you had to wait 1 week.
Yeah.
And then at the end of the season, you had to wait a few months.
Yeah. Well, we did half. We didn't get into it right away. So I think we watched the first 3 seasons, like binged.
Yeah.
And then we're like, fuck, now we got to wait. Yeah. So we were used to just being able to watch it back to back, and then we couldn't anymore. But it adds a little anticipation.
Yeah.
You kind of savor it a bit more. Although the fucking commercials, man, horrible. If you could do it without that, because that pulls you out of it.
Yeah, and so, it was AMC, so they probably had more commercials than network television.
They did, and then the more popular Breaking Bad got, the more commercials. My parents, I remember they told me, because they watched it from the beginning on AMC, and they were like, watching the commercials change has been interesting. It went from like erectile dysfunction ads to really mainstream stuff. So, but anyway, it's funny to see how that changes. Are you kind of like changing your focus at all? Are you thinking about doing some pilots?
I'm going to write some. I have some pilots on the pipeline that I'm going to write. I'm working on a feature right now.
Nice.
I'm trying to secure funding for. That's my focus right now.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to get funding for this feature.
Hello. Okay. Sorry, I thought I wasn't recording. We lost everything. Oh yeah, let's do this.
Do you want to keep recording this, or
it's up to you?
It's up to you. I don't know how much space you have on your phone.
I think we're good. Let's keep it rolling a little bit.
Okay.
And then you can cut it down as much as you want. Have doors been opening more for you since you have started winning some awards on the festival circuit?
A little bit. I think I have to get into bigger festivals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm sure it's helped.
It's helped
a bit.
It has helped.
Yeah.
You know, my bosses will watch my film and they enjoyed it, so that's a great thing.
Oh, good.
Yeah. Nice.
It's so hard to just get people to sit down and watch your shit. You know what I mean? Not shit, but like your stuff. It's the same thing with the art world, getting people to come to shows. Like when you showed up, like I never expect anybody to show up to any show. So when they do, it's just kind of a bonus. I don't know if it's similar with you with your.
They ask me for links. You know.
Yeah.
Like, where can I watch your film?
Right.
You see where I posted it. I posted the link where you could buy a ticket to watch it.
Yeah.
But, they keep asking me to.
Well, people are so distracted nowadays.
Yeah.
Man.
It's like if they reach out to the filmmaker himself, and they'll get to watch it for free. But no.
Yeah. Don't do that if you're listening. Well, it's hard. I think. I think we've all done it. Like being in LA, being bombarded with so much shit, being busy with your own stuff. It's easy to kind of come across as flaky. I think that's why LA gets such a bad name. There are a lot of flakes here too.
Sure.
But I try to be supportive as much as I can. Yeah. But I find that the more people you know and the more people you work with, you kind of start spreading yourself a little thin.
Right.
How have you found yourself kind of evolving with social media? Are you using social media for filmmaking? Are you using different platforms, like new platforms? However you want to answer that.
I use Instagram a lot, especially now that they added Reels.
Yeah. They're pushing that.
I love that. I could put out a 15-second short film a day if I wanted to. I love Reels.
Is that kind of their answer to TikTok?
I think so, yeah. Yeah. And I hopped on TikTok, but it's not the platform for me.
I didn't like it either. I tried it. I didn't like it.
And then I just started getting back on Twitter. And
Twitter is having a resurgence.
Yeah, I hated Twitter for the longest time.
Me too.
And then I finally got it on my phone. And I thought, oh, this is too easy to send a random thought. So I'm liking Twitter now.
Yeah.
But I stay away from the political side of it. I keep it filmmaking related, or
that's the way to do it. I think that's the thing that Twitter got a bad name for at the beginning. It was so much a source of negativity, I think, and politics. And one thing I'm hearing a lot from people, I still can't get over that, my past experience with it, but I hear from a lot of people that it's a really good source of, not inspiration, but there are little like micro groups in there that kind of boost each other. Like you get involved with this, and then they're very supportive. That's something that I didn't really find in Twitter when I first started. Are you finding that too?
I'm finding it. Yeah.
For filmmakers.
And I'm following filmmaking pages and
Yeah.
photography pages and following some actors and directors. And
Yeah.
but I'm keeping it at that. I don't want to follow any journalists or any news sources or anything like that. Yeah.
It's nice right now to take a break from the news. I feel like we were another thing we were bombarded with every day. Your phone going off, like what's going on? You couldn't avoid it.
Right.
Now it's kind of nice to just take a little breather, you know?
Right.
And kind of refocus too.
I took all that off of my phone. I turned off all notifications.
Like every day's a crisis, you know?
Yeah.
Do you mind if we take a quick pee break?
Sure.
Good. I'm gonna make sure we don't lose all this.
Okay.
Well, it shouldn't be starting from scratch, but she'd have to build up her clientele.
She had to build up her clientele. I think she's talented enough to where she wouldn't have to be a barista or a bartender or anything like that. But it causes anxiety for her to think about picking up and starting over again. You know.
Oh yeah, and then I don't know anymore, but there's probably more competition.
Right
here, right?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah. If you got a good thing going there,
let her ride as long as possible.
Let her ride, exactly.
Yeah.
And maybe she'll end up transitioning a little easier into. We're talking about Tony's new girlfriend, photographer.
Yeah.
We're also talking during our extended pee break about drinking and anxiety.
Yeah.
So yeah, we were saying, because anxiety for me, it was like I had anxiety, and I would just be like, "Well, I'm going to drink, and then I'm going to feel great." And then the next day I would feel horrible and anxious. And then I'd have to go to work, and it would just be, so much exacerbated. Yeah. What's that?
You're lethargic and everything.
Lethargic, and you're depleted of, serotonin and whatever it is. It was a nasty cocktail. So you kind of get into a little bit of a routine of like, okay, I'm going to drink again and I'll feel better again.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was similar for you, but when I stopped, it was like, oh, okay. Now I have to deal with the things that I'm actually anxious about, like the roots of these things.
Yeah.
And it was great. Like I was ready for it. Like I was doing kind of like meditation stuff for a long time before that. And a little bit of a spiritual, not like really spiritual, but kind of Eckhart Tolle type stuff.
Yeah.
Where I was getting more in tune with just silence and being with myself.
Yeah.
So I kind of was able to handle it. But yeah, man, I can understand why people quit and then they're just like, oh my God, just bombarded with all these feelings that they've never felt before or had to deal with. Did you have things like that or no?
I did. Yeah, I did. I was drinking a lot, and then I think the doctor told me. Well, it was no one else would tell me, but the doctor told me I was getting close to being pre-diabetic.
Mm-hmm.
And
were you drinking like just regular alcohol or sugary drinks?
I was drinking beers and liquors and wines.
I mean, it all turns into sugar in your system, but
yeah. And then that kind of prompted something. It's still a process to quit,
Yeah.
Like I still occasionally drink, and there's friends that will invite me out, and I have to think about if I want to go out with them because I know if I go out with them, it's an all night.
It's going to be late.
Yeah, it's going to be late, and it's going to be several drinks. So,
and for me nowadays, I mean, I did that for so long. There's part of me that's like I wasted so much time.
Mm-hmm.
I also got a lot of art out of it, and I got a lot of books and stuff out of it. So I wasn't completely wasted, but I just feel like the productivity was wasted. Like when nowadays, if I drank, like last night, let's say, I would not want to do this podcast.
Right.
I would not want to get up and put a painting up like I did today online and start marketing it. I just wouldn't do it.
Mm-hmm.
I would sleep until 11.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I wouldn't want to run or
exactly.
Or spend the first couple hours writing before work calls start coming in and whatnot.
Yeah, just imagine how much more you accomplish. And then the whole thing about like the societal thing, the pressure of it, so ingrained in everything.
Yeah.
I really agree with the stuff that Pete Holmes says about the whole like alcohol makes you its bitch type thing. I mean, it really does. It's okay, I'm a slave to this. I have to go out, and if I'm going to go out, I got to drink, and then I got to do this. You watch a advertisement on TV, it makes you want to drink. You go to a Super Bowl party, you're going to drink. It's almost like required.
Yeah.
So getting set with yourself, being kind of rooted enough that you can go hang out in those environments without doing it, is kind of empowering.
Right.
The funny thing is people don't even notice.
Yeah.
Like you can show up with like a club soda and people will be like, "Oh, he's drinking," you know. Because the thing that I really noticed when I stopped drinking was people are so obnoxious when they drink. Like they start just talking about themselves, blah 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 blah, and then they're not listening to you when you're talking. I was like, man, I hope I wasn't like this.
Like I said, alcohol is both the best and the worst anti-anxiety drug.
Completely.
Yeah.
Completely.
And it's it can give you enough courage to go talk to that girl at the bar, or it can give you enough courage to just wait at the Taco Bell drive-thru at 2:30 in the morning.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
Oh yeah.
Or worse.
Or worse. Yeah, right. But it sounds like you are at a good place.
Yeah,
you don't have to drink.
I'm weaning myself off. I don't have to drink. Like my girl likes to. We like to go have a couple cocktails every once in a while, some margaritas or something.
Yeah.
But other than that, or some wine.
Yeah.
But there's no urge to catch that feeling of like stumbling home and yeah.
We're gonna turn this into a 5 a.m. thing. Mm-hmm. Man, I watched so many sunrises without ever going to bed. I've talked about this on the podcast too. It's one of those things where now I use a lot of that for my art, and I'm sure you use a lot in your writing.
Yeah. You've
experienced it enough now that you can kind of revisit it in your mind without having to actually do it anymore. Right. And that's a powerful place to be, I think, because I think that's why a lot of artists, die young or they end up having a problem or fade away, kind of, burnout.
Yeah.
They're just too into that. They can't separate themselves from it. Now it's like, it's kind of like a trick, Oh, okay. I can remember this. I can get myself into that place without having to actually be there. And then I'll still create something as if I'm in that state of mind. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Do you have that experience ever?
Yeah, no, I could definitely use it as inspiration, like the memories of
that
stuff. But I think, I don't know, I think it's better to just not experience it in the first place.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it would be, but it's hard to not.
Yeah.
Especially living in this country.
Right. Yeah.
I think
it's definitely ingrained in society.
Yeah. Do you, if you don't mind me asking, is there any personal history with Midnight, like any of that, or is that just kind of something you?
No, there is some personal history to it, but not like what happened in the story didn't happen to me. Mm-hmm. But
you didn't OD?
No, my girlfriend didn't OD. But I mean, I definitely knew people who I'd met that had died of overdoses or killed themselves when life started getting really
tough.
Yeah.
Me too. I mean, I think everybody at this point, like if you get to a certain age, you're going to have some people that have been hit by that. Yeah. But the story of it remind me, is it the girlfriend's boyfriend who dies?
Yeah. The main character is the sister.
Yes.
And the second main character is the girlfriend of the brother.
So in the diner scene, I think she's blonde. The one that's sitting across from her, that's the girlfriend.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
That's the girlfriend.
The sister goes for revenge.
Yeah.
Right.
And she looks at the girlfriend like, this fuck up. Like, I don't want anything from you. Just give me the address.
Like she enabled him, kind of.
Yeah.
That's cool. I can't wait to see it. So I wanted to ask you about a couple things.
Sure.
So we talked about screenwriting a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm interested in that process, but I know you're interested in Kintsugi. Sorry.
Yeah.
I had Christina Elizabeth Smith. She's also interested in Kintsugi. You work with Kintsugi.
I do it.
Nice.
I frequently.
So tell me about it. Like, how did you get interested in it? And tell people, I guess, what it is, first of all, because some people didn't listen to the other episode.
Sure. Well, Kintsugi is an ancient Japanese practice of rejoining broken pottery with lacquer and powdered gold. Mm-hmm. You mix the lacquer and the powdered gold together, and it accentuates the cracks of the pottery, but now it's reusable again, and it's even more beautiful with the cracks.
Yes. Not hiding the cracks.
It's not hiding the cracks. It's actually exposing them and making them front and center.
Yeah. Which is kind of can be a metaphor for our lives. Yeah. Right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So how long have you been doing this, and how often do you do it, in your life?
I do it frequently. I've been doing it probably since 2015.
Nice. So 5-6 years. I mean, it's
burping right now.
Yeah, I keep filling you full of club
suds.
soda.
Give me suds and LaCroix and club soda.
LaCroix and club soda. It's a deadly combination. So it's an artistic process.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's
an art form.
It's therapeutic. I immersed myself in the symbolism of it and just started breaking mugs and plates and.
Oh, so you actually, well, I guess it started probably with something you'd broken. I saw your short film you made of the FU or the fuck you mug or whatever.
Yeah. The fuck it mug.
Fuck it mug, that's right. That was something that was already broken, right?
Yeah.
So was that your first or?
That was my first.
Cool.
That was the first.
Nice.
I started an Instagram page, but I didn't want to keep up with the Instagram page. I wanted to keep it for myself.
Yeah.
It's a thing for me. It's like those that, and I play a little bit of piano and a little bit of guitar, but I do that therapeutically.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't want to play for people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's nice to have some of that stuff just for yourself. Something you don't have to like put out into the world. That's so rare these days. Everybody wants to, if you have got any talent, it's like Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, whatever. Yeah. Sometimes just doing it for its own sake to get some therapy out of it for yourself is great. But do you do Kintsugi every month or?
I do a couple times a month.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cool. Do you feel like you're getting better at it?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Because from somebody on the outside, it would just be like, oh, you're just like gluing stuff back together.
It's essentially what it is.
Yeah, but
except you're using an epoxy and powdered gold, so it's like
Whoa. Take us through the process. Is it difficult? Like, do you have to get a mixture right, or what?
No? I think the thing you have to get right is the amount you put on the mug or on the piece of ceramic before you put the other piece together, because it glues quick. So if you put a lot, it's going to gloop out and just it's a big thick line and whatever. So
is that like a no?
Well, I don't know. I don't know what the no-nos are. I'm just someone who appreciated it. I do want to go to Japan and take a Kintsugi class, and I know there's a couple of people that offer Kintsugi classes in Japan.
That would be awesome.
Yeah.
I would like to do that too. You've been to Japan?
No, I haven't.
I went after college once. I had my ex-girlfriend. We had a bunch of Japanese friends. Like, she did ESL, and we just ended up going and like staying with all these people we knew, and we got to go to Kyoto and Nagoya and Tokyo, and we did like local bond dances and stayed with families. It was amazing. Like, just non-touristy place. Like, we were the first foreigners in a sushi restaurant.
Wow.
It was amazing. But I love that culture. I love the care that they put into everything.
Yeah.
It's just, it seems like everything's just kind of slowed down and done with precision,
Precision and appreciation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you put any of that kind of stuff? Do you ever get any, I might be reaching here, but do you put any of that into your practice? Like, have you learned anything from the Kintsugi that you could apply to like filmmaking, screenwriting?
Yeah. It's trust the process, and it's appreciate where you are, because it's very easy to look at yourself at different aspects of your career or different points of your career and say, I'm fucking this up. What am I doing? I'm going to go back to Austin, be a mailman.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But does it, I would assume it would make you feel like exposing some of the cracks, like in your own process, are okay too. Like, absolutely. Some of the flaws.
Yeah.
Like in art, it would be the happy accident, right?
Yeah.
Like exposing like something you didn't mean to do. Sometimes that ends up being like the best part of your painting.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then there's different ways to approach things after like embedding yourself with that philosophy. And it's just, how do I say this? It's like what you would flip out over messing up in the past. You can say, oh, okay, let me adjust, accept that I just fucked up, or accept that I just did something different than I normally do, and then let's figure out how to do it from here and adapt.
Exactly.
It's about adapting, yeah.
Adapting, and I would assume learning from it, right?
Absolutely.
That's cool. I love it. It kind of reminds me of like a meditative practice, because obviously it's more internal with meditation, but what you're doing is you're getting used to kind of almost like the cracks in your own mind, in your own subconscious, things that you're dealing with, pain, maybe trauma even, you're sitting there and you're just sitting with it.
Yeah.
And you're breathing through it and you're just letting it happen without judgment. It sounds very similar.
Yeah.
But in kind of like a tangible form.
Yeah.
That's cool. So we talk about on this podcast, I always ask people about their creative process. Same with the origin story. I always ask about your superpower. Like, is there something that you do, for example, let's say you're screenwriting or you're coming up with a idea for a film. I'm sure you experience blocks just like everybody else does, or maybe you're just not feeling it in the moment. Yeah. Is there something you do that kind of gets you into that creative mindset?
It's really just about doing it. It's really just about sitting down and doing it. I feel like with blocks, distractions are too easy, or there are too many ways to experience a distraction that you can just say, you can just chop it up to a block. And then I don't really feel that I get blocks. I feel that I'll get lazy and not sit down for the 2 hours or 3 hours, 4 hours that I need to sit down for.
I have the same thing. I'd never experienced a writer's block or any sort of ideas are not a problem for me.
No.
But there are problems with like making excuses, procrastination.
Yeah.
And you're right. It's just sitting down. Yeah. Like it will come. That's the hard thing. That's the thing about being professional. The difference between being like just a hobby artist and a professional artist is like, okay, you show up. Like even when you're not feeling it, you show up, you sit down, and then things come out of that. Right. Just doing it, the act of doing it. I'm sure it's different as a filmmaker. It's not like you can just always sit down and I'm gonna shoot.
The thing is, you have to rely on other people to work with.
Yeah. How's that been? I'm interested in hearing. Like, I know things are changing so much. Do you see yourself in the future doing something that's like a more immediate, or using some sort of social media platform or some sort of app or whatever? Like, people use YouTube, Vimeo, whatever. Do you have anything in mind that you can start working with down the road as far as like being more immediate, not having to wait for like putting team together, that kind of stuff?
That's why I love the reels on Instagram.
Yeah.
Don't need anybody for that.
Is that just short form?
I think you can make one between 15 and you can make it up to 30 seconds long.
Oh, okay. So it is short form.
Yeah.
TikTok's kind of similar, right?
15
seconds or something.
Yeah. Something like that.
Yeah. I was listening to Audible, like they have these artists in their own words, Sheryl Crow, Sting, Billie Joe Armstrong, Alanis Morissette. And Sheryl Crow was talking about it. She's like, I got this whole album in me right now. And she's like, but people are not digesting albums anymore. So she just would release singles, a single at a time. Do you think that's kind of the future, or do you think people will still...
That's the future.
Yeah. With film too.
Yeah, with film. I mean, even before the pandemic, theater numbers were looking weird, looking low. And everything, like they're releasing movies, streaming and in the theater on the same day.
Yeah.
So I think it's gearing towards not leaving your house.
Never leaving your house. Yeah. And even like, I know Pete Holmes was talking about this on the podcast. People in the future are going to be interacting with film. Like it's going to be like a virtual reality type thing. It's like, well, why do I want to watch George Clooney do this when I could be doing it? Yeah. Like I could be the main character in this world. I kind of hope it's not like that, because I enjoy the escape of like seeing somebody else doing something.
Yeah.
But we'll see. Do you think that might be
something?
A possibility?
It's something that we can't even fathom right now. It's going to be something.
Yeah, man. Yeah. I mean, I like the idea of I love streaming at home. I love watching stuff in my own little home theater or whatever. But I just feel like we're going to be missing that whole kind of act of experiencing stuff together. Going to movie theater, hearing people laughing.
Yeah.
Although it was getting to a point where it was hard to go to a movie theater because people's cell phones, like you can't, the lights are going off all the time. They're on the phone. They're answering in the theater. I remember back in the day when, you go to the movies and people like behave themselves. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. Or they got into it,
They got into it. Yeah, exactly. So your superpower is just getting into it, getting into the process, just kind of putting things in motion.
The thing is, my superpower is something that everybody has in them,
But not everybody does it.
It's no different than a kid in Idaho who wants to do it, or somewhere around the world that wants to do it.
Yeah.
All you have to do is want it and then do it,
But it is the superpower, because I've found in my own life, like in the art practice, is so many people say they want to do something, but then just doing it. That's what separates you, or following through on something.
Right.
Like, I'm going to do this. I'm going to make a podcast, for example. Like, how many people do you hear, I'm going to make a podcast? But actually sitting down and putting it together and doing it is difficult. So it can be a superpower. What about like failures? Any failures you've experienced?
I still fail to this day. I'm failing all the time.
But do you have one you can think of that was important to you, like stuck out and you remember that something that was like a learning experience for you?
Yeah, I mean, I've been fired from several set jobs, and this is back when I was doing art department stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I've been fired from several jobs that made me feel like I wasn't up to par. You know,
mm-hmm. Did that focus you in another direction?
Yeah, I mean, I would go and write, and I would always go and write. When I got fired, I would spend a couple hours writing.
Yeah,
when I got home,
so you'd use the experience.
I would just use it as motivation, I guess, for lack of a better term. But I would make myself go home and do a couple hours of writing just to tell myself that what I just got fired from, although it feels like shit and the rejection sucks, what I just got fired from is not what you came here to do. It's okay. Just gather yourself and regain yourself and find another way. It's
basically taking something negative and going like, okay, I'm not going to let this, be pervasive in my life. I'm going to go and do the thing that I'm supposed to do. It's like a shot of healthy self-esteem. Like, oh yeah, this is what I'm supposed to do.
Sure, yeah, but I never felt that self-esteem, that healthy self-esteem when I was doing it. I always felt terrible, but I still.
But did it make you feel better? The act of like coming home and pounding out some writing or whatever.
Yeah, some vengeful writing. Yeah,
that's good too.
It definitely helped. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. That's cool. So what are you working on now?
I have another short film in post-production, and I have a short film I'm doing in pre-production. And I'm doing all this in the meantime while I'm waiting for funding to come through for the feature. And I figured, why sit around and wait for money to come through and when there's no guarantee that the money would come through?
Yeah.
And I figure that putting out these films will give me better opportunities, better chances to showcase, and to put me in a better position to be able to do that feature at the end of the year or next year or whatever. And
maybe get some more eyeballs on your work.
Yeah.
So what's the short film about?
There's the one that's in post-production right now. It's about a guy who tries to have a good day, but he's got a head on his shoulder. Oh, we're constantly bringing him down.
Like an actual, like a little head? Yeah. Nice.
That one's called You Fucking Idiot. Yeah.
Is that what the head says to him?
Yeah.
You fucking idiot.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
It's a manifestation of his anxiety.
That's great. I can't wait. And then the feature, what's that going to be?
Well, it's about gentrification in Austin.
Ah.
It's set in a dark comedy.
We've come full circle.
Yeah. It's set in a very dark comedy. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Oh, that's cool. So will you film it in Austin?
Yeah, I would shoot it in Austin.
Wouldn't that be funny if you didn't film it in Austin?
Yeah.
We filmed it in Toronto. Yeah. That's cool. And then that would be fun to do that at a film festival in Austin, like have that showcase there.
That'd be great. Yeah.
Do you think the gentrification of Austin is negatively impacting the film industry there?
I mean,
or the arts in general?
I think the art scene is going to evolve. Everything does evolve. It's like you're not going to have like those dirty blues bars that that were like in a shack way on the east side, and they served you beer out of a cooler, and
Dude, that's one of those things where I've seen that everywhere. I don't know why we can't get that right. It's like Culver City. Let's take Culver City, for example. When I first came into town, that's where I landed. I loved it. It felt like a small town in the middle of a huge city.
Yeah.
And it was kind of vibrant, but it had dive bars, and it had the studios around it, but it was kind of like my place.
Yeah.
And there was an art scene, and I don't know, I just felt like it was where I evolved as a human being and as an artist. Mm-hmm. And now you can't rent anything there for like less than $5,500.
Wow.
And what kind of artist?
Yeah.
It's not already famous, right? I'm using artist broadly, right? Whether you're an actor, a musician, or a painter. Nobody can afford to live there. Mm-hmm. And so your whole creative scene just evaporates. it vanishes. So why can't we get that right? Like, why can't we retain, like, why can't we evolve in areas, but still retain that kind of creative environment that made it cool in the first place?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It just ends up becoming stale. I hate to see that. Is that what's going on in Austin?
In Austin, in my opinion, yeah.
Yeah.
Austin's a pretty...
Shots fired on Austin here.
No, that's stale place. I mean, it's trendy.
It's definitely trendy.
People will love it and have fun there when they go.
Yeah.
But I mean, you're also talking to an old school Austinite,
Sure. Yeah.
Maybe what I say is completely outdated,
Maybe, but maybe not.
Maybe not.
But do you see the same thing happening with, like, I know there's a big musician scene there, for example.
Yeah.
Do you see musicians not being able to afford to live there and create?
Well, I don't know. I don't live there. I couldn't tell you. I mean,
yeah. But your girlfriend lives there.
Yeah. I mean, I know Austin, they did this thing where some condos were built downtown and then they were complaining about the noise. Mm-hmm. And in my mind is like, you move downtown to a place that caters to live music. What do you expect?
What do you expect? Right. Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, I know with the tech industry moving there, that's going to bring, it's going to bring some vibrancy in a certain way, but it's also going to be, like what happened in San Francisco and everything, nobody can afford to live there. I think that's probably part of the reason why there was such a homeless explosion in San Francisco, right?
Oh, there's a homeless explosion in Austin too. I just can't.
And in LA, right?
Yeah.
Oh, so you saw it there when you were there last time?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Like on the street to my parents' house, there were never homeless people there. And now there's people that just sit on the corner in lawn chairs and tents. It's very odd to see.
Well, and I'm sure you think the pandemic has kind of exacerbated that, or
I don't know.
I'm sure. Yeah, it's on some level it had to have. So where do you see yourself? Where do you see your art? Where do you see your films? Like in 5 years, what do you have? Any goals for?
Yeah, I want distribution. I want theater distribution.
Mm-hmm. Are there going to be theaters to distribute?
Well, at least streaming distribution.
Right. Yeah. That's, I think, the thing that really is a big question mark right now. I know a lot of theater companies caved during the pandemic. It was kind of like the straw that broke the camel's back. It was kind of going in that direction. I hear my dad talk about this all the time, but I still think it's going to survive, man. Like, there's been so many things that TV is going to be the death of theater. You know, streaming is going to, computers are going to be Blockbuster is going to be the death of theater, and they all survive. So I think there's still going to be, there's going to be an outlet for film and for people to kind of come and congregate. It just might not be as, widespread. I hope.
Yeah, I hope so too.
Yeah,
I'm sure it will.
Yeah, I hope so. Well,
it's another experience for people to do. Like, people are going to want to get out of the house.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, are we all just going to be in our little bubbles like the rest of our lives? No. I mean, that's something that the pandemic has exposed too. I mean, I think we need to be around people. We need to have some kind of shared experiences.
Yeah. And for the record, I don't. It's not that I think Austin is lame. It's my hometown. It's that whenever you see a loved one make a choice and you don't like the choice, you're always extra critical on that choice.
Oh, definitely. No, I don't think it comes across that way. I think it comes out of love. Like, you want that place to be cool. You want LA to be cool. I want films to be shot in LA. Yeah. I worked with an organization called Bring Hollywood Home. It was all about raising money to keep the film industry here. Yeah. And I think that's done out of love. Yeah, you have to expose a problem to change it. Mm-hmm. So I think that's cool. You're going to get a lot of hate mail from Austin. No, I'm just kidding. But
is Austin a big market for your podcast?
Oh yeah, huge. We're huge in Austin, and South America. But I've got family in South America. Yeah. I'm sure that's part of it. Well, last question: any advice to young Tony coming up? Your years of wisdom you've accumulated. Yeah. This can be life wisdom, or it can be advice to yourself as a filmmaker.
Yeah. Work hard. Save your money and invest. Invest your money sooner.
In crypto? No.
Trust yourself more, and trust that you're learning, and trust that it doesn't have to be perfect.
Yes.
And know that you're just starting out and it's going to suck for a little bit. Your art will be bad, but you will be learning with each thing you do.
That's good advice. Yeah. And use the suck.
Yeah.
Use the suck as motivation to get better.
Yeah.
I was one of those people, I don't know about you, I was one of those people that always thought when I was starting out, I thought my stuff was like gold.
Right.
And now I look back at it and I'm like, holy shit.
Yeah.
Some of it was gold, but some of it was like, okay, I'm learning. And I do think you have to balance that out. Like you got to have the drive to move forward and keep creating, but also realize that, your stuff is going to not be great always.
Yeah. It's okay to be bad. Yeah.
It's okay to be bad. It's okay to grow.
Yeah, it's okay to grow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, in film school, I thought I was going to be the next Stanley Kubrick, and then
you might be.
It's a little late for that.
No. Dude, we're going to be living to be, nowadays, we're going to, once they get life extension, we're going to be like 150 years old. We're going to be like biblical ages. So now 50 is going to be the time that we hit our stride.
Right.
But where can people find you online?
Instagram is @_Lugotron. Twitter is @Lugotron. I don't really use
LUGOTRON.
Yeah. My website's www.lugotron.com. And Facebook, Tony Lugo, Lugotron. There's a theme here.
Hey, it's good, man. I did the same thing. We got to brand ourselves. Yeah. I'm like PMS artwork everywhere now.
Yeah.
So. Lugotron's cool though. That has a cool sound to it.
Oh, thanks.
Transformer-ish. Cool. Well, anything you feel like we left out? Anything you want to leave people with? Anything you want to plug?
No, anything I want to plug? No. Any recommendations for a nice restaurant on the way home?
Oh, that's a good question, man. Well, what are you eating right now?
I don't know. I looked up here at this painting that's right here, and I wanted Cuban food all of a sudden.
Oh, there you go. That's Argentina, but I can definitely see that. I can definitely see the Cuban colors in that. There is a Versailles, I believe, on Ventura. Have you ever eaten at Versailles?
I have.
You're not a fan?
Delicious.
Okay, yeah, it is really good. We used to have one right where we lived in Palms too, on Venice. But there's one, I can't remember the exact block, but you can Google it. That's probably the only Cuban food I know. We've been kind of plant-based, so it's been hard for us to eat Cuban food. But
anyway, we don't want to waste the listeners' time.
Oh, yeah, we do. People want to know about restaurants. So, okay, cool, man. Well, anything that you feel like we're good?
I feel like we're good. Do you feel like we're good?
I feel like we're good. We filmed this for anybody who's listening. You'll be able to see this somewhere. We did a little split screen. Tony's going to put some stuff together, put his filmmaker's eye on it. And I don't know, probably you can check it out on my YouTube. Where are you going to, you do Vimeo, right?
I do Vimeo, yeah.
Yeah, so.
I do have a YouTube account, but I mean, it's too many ads.
Too many ads. Yeah. Although that's where you make the money, man. Yeah. Yeah. But check out both of our sites for a little behind the scenes action. So I feel like we're good. I feel like we're bringing it into the 21st century.
Let's do it.
like they just started filming in the 21st century. But thanks, Ben. It's been good catching
Preston,
up too.
It's been great.
I feel like we should shake, even though you're going to be here when we stop doing this. But PMS and Lugotron back again. All right.
Boom.
Thanks for listening, everybody. This has been the Living Artist Podcast. Thank you so much for listening. I just want you to know that I appreciate you being here, and I'm grateful to be in your ears. Your art and creative life on this planet is meaningful, so thank you for sharing it with me. If you like this podcast, whatever platform you're listening to it on, please subscribe and share it with your friends. You can also leave me a positive review to show your support. This helps me to reach more people with the algorithmic magic and keep the show going strong. If you want to see more of what I do and check out the art that I create, you can visit my website at www.pmsartwork.com or follow me on social media everywhere at PMS Artwork. That's it for now. See you back here next time.